What does it mean to master the game of life? Like any game, it requires a fundamental understanding and application of the rules. But living in today's on-demand society is making this nearly impossible as our attention is increasingly being fought over and monetized by others. Will Moore's mission is to help you hit the reset button by providing a new set of game rules based on time-proven universal principles and modern science to gamify your life by making it fun and addictive to replace your habits in the 5 core areas of your life proven to lead to true happiness. Ready, player one?
Oh, hi. Hey, Christmas, hey, holidays, hey. How's everybody doing today? So glad you have joined me on this epic adventure holiday episode. A lot of stuff going on in the world. There always is, but it's like, doesn't it always seem like today has the most that it's ever had? Is it incrementally just becoming crazier and crazier? I mean, yeah, I'd say it probably is. Thanks for joining, man. Good to have you. Hi from Uruguay. Oh, Puerto Rico. Ay. Feliz Navidad, amigos. They say it's very true. Habits, just like I'm always talking about, if you're not in the habit of using it on a regular basis, like either having a friend that speaks Spanish or going to a country and speaking it regularly, it's gone. Just like every other habit that we have in our lives, people, that we develop. If you are not proactively working to use them to where they can become automatic, then they're just going to disappear. I want to hear about, we're at that time. I know it's kind of cliche, but New Year's resolutions, okay? I want to get into them. So go ahead and ask your question. As you're doing that, I want to talk to you guys about something. This year, here's how it's going to be different, okay? And this is extremely important that you take this knowledge and actually act on it. I know you guys are getting a zillion things coming at you from all different directions and different pieces of advice and whatnot. I promise you this is one that you can hang your hat on and you will make progress and you will actually move the needle this year if you take it into consideration. And what is that magical tip? It's called going small, making it easy, simple, making the things you're trying to do obvious. If you try to go too big, too soon on your New Year's resolutions, you're dead in the water. It reminds me of a friend. Every time I think about it, he wanted to get in shape and he went to the gym one year and we actually had a little Thanksgiving dinner at his house later that night. And he literally was walking around like a T-Rex because he'd gone to the gym that morning and he'd spent 3 hours and he did every single muscle in his body and he hadn't worked out all year. And he couldn't even walk. And he's like doing the spatula like this, like making her fit. And it just every time I think of this, when I'm talking about this, it reminds me of the fact that like, if you try to do too much, your body just is like, nope. Your brain's like, nope. And sure enough, he never worked out another day that year, right? Because it was just too much, too fast. And his body's like, we can't do this. But if you take these teensy tiny little steps that are like so small, you barely even notice them, you trick your little lizard brain into wanting to take these actions. You make them fun, you make them rewarding, you make them obvious, easy, simple, satisfying. That's how you're going to do it. That's what my system is. Looking forward to a good year of helping you all. Okay, so with that said, hi, Allie. Okay, so Radian Lou, small consistent efforts is the key to success. You better believe it. Okay, let me go back. That's what I was just talking about. So how do you do what I just said, right? A lot of people like to just give advice and then you're like, well, how the heck do I do that? Well, it's called gamifying your life. And you do it in all 5 main areas scientifically correlated to happiness. You've got your mindset, you've got your relationships, you've got your emotional health, you got your career and finance, and you got your physical health. These are all areas that we need to constantly be ABG, always be growing in, always be moving in the right direction by, like I just said, taking one small step at a time and growing into the habits that will transform and they'll go on autopilot. And that's what's going to change our lives because we are our habits. Our habits are us. They don't care if they're good or bad, helping or hurting us. So the idea is you want to like identify what are these habits. That's your first step you're going to do is say, okay, what are these? How do you do that? Well, I have a system to do it, but in the meantime, a simple way is to just literally keep a list of what you're doing for each day for 5 days or so. So you have your morning routine, your afternoon, and your evening. And believe me when I tell you this, you're not going to know a lot of the things that you think you're doing. And as you write them down, you're going to have some aha moments where you're like, wow, I can't believe I'm doing that. Because what happens is these habits, they've dug themselves in deep and they're just doing their thing. They're compounding over time. You don't realize it, but they're going to determine how happy and productive and successful of a human being you're going to be. So the idea is to identify them and say, whoa, I don't like this guy. He's hurting me. Let's go ahead and flip the script on him and let's unclaw him. Let's detach that little tick of a habit and let's replace him with a success habit. And that success habit, here's the good news. Once they get working for you, once your neurons start to connect that this is who we are, this is what we do, it's become part of you, you don't have to think about it anymore. They're just building your momentum in all 5 of these core areas. So with that said, make that list. Step 1, again, starting small. I'm not going to give you too many steps, but let's just make that list this week of all these habits and all these things that you're doing on a daily basis. And I like to do it from Monday to Friday because your weekends are usually a different type of routine. But, your Monday through Friday, we tend to all have very similar routines. And so, just kind of notice, what are you doing and what are you lacking in? If you haven't already, go to the website, More Momentum, MOORE, momentum.com. Take the quiz, how happy you are. It'll tell you what your core score is, kind of where you stand in each of your cores. And that'll give you a sense of what you're lacking in and what habits to get started on. And then just from that list, just pick one. And I mean it, just one. Don't try to do all of them. Don't try to be my buddy at the gym with the T-Rex arms. Just pick one habit from one core and get to work on it. And again, how do you reduce the friction to start getting this going? Well, you want to make it obvious, easy, rewarding, satisfying, right? So for instance, if you want to start exercising more and you are afraid that you can't do it, then you just need to find something that I call these golden habits, something that you naturally already enjoy. Like, so for me, I like to play basketball. I like to play tennis, most sports. And when I'm doing sports like competitively and I'm in a social environment, it doesn't even feel like I'm working out, right? Which is why I think Peloton has done so well, or at least they were for a while before things got crazy in the marketplace. But bottom line is they kind of gamify that by giving you that social connectivity, the rewards, the competition, right? The cool graphics and stuff. But for me, I love playing basketball. It doesn't even feel like work. I can play for 2 hours, not even feel like I'm tired, and then I'll be like drenched in sweat and I'll got the best workout of my life. Versus if I were to say I need to go running 3 days a week because I feel like that's what I should do, I wouldn't get 2 steps without being like, oh, this is hard, this sucks, I don't want to do this. So that's not your golden habit. Right? So figure out what it is that you naturally like to do. Personalize that experience. Customize that habit to yourself. Figure out what that habit is that relates to this failure habit that you're struggling with. What's the opposite success habit that is your golden habit? And then, here's the beauty of it. On top of that, what you can do is actually further gamify that habit by figuring out a way, again, to make it even more obvious, more easy, more rewarding, satisfying. How can you do that? Well, for me, I joined a basketball league, right? So rather than me relying on me saying, oh, I just need to go to the gym a couple days a week and play basketball, that's never gonna happen because we're all busy, we have our schedules, we have our routines, right? And if I wanna work that in, I need to proactively work that into my schedule. And if I know that I have a time and a place that I'm playing, that I need to be somewhere. In fact, it's tonight at 8 o'clock. So I actually do it when my kids, they go to bed. So I do the family time. I put my kids to bed. And then it's boom, let's party. I'm ready to go play some basketball. And sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, it's a little hard, but here's another gamification trick you can use. I actually put my gym clothes on as soon as I finish putting the kids down at around 7:30, because I know that if I don't put my gym clothes on, and I have that little window of about 30 to 45 minutes where I'm sitting around waiting to play basketball, I will get tired and I will turn the TV on and I'll be like, oh, this is so much easier and better. I just want to lie here. But I also know that if I do play basketball, how great it's going to feel, and the rewards, and how, that feeling I'm going to get of accomplishment and moving my physical health core in the right direction. So I will basically put those gym clothes on, and then around 8 o'clock rolls around. I'm like, well, I'm already in them. I've reduced the friction. And then I go to that assigned time that I've already scheduled in, right? And so boom, those are two simple ways. And there's actually apps that you can find, and you can just simply Google, like if you, let's say a sport that you're looking to play, there's tons of groups, tons of people out there playing, doing these things that you like to do. Go join one, whatever your favorite sport is, whatever your favorite thing is to do, whether it's a running group, paddle tennis, whatever, and just do it. And once you start doing it, now I'm addicted to it. Right? It's like I can't stop doing it, just like these bad habits I had before. And if I don't do it, I don't feel good. Something doesn't feel right. And so it's kind of, my brain's kind of trained itself to say, okay, this is what we do. This is who we are. If that makes any sense to you guys. The first step for your New Year's resolution of becoming aware and then picking one habit. I'm going to sign off on this one.
That's it for the Gamify Your Habits podcast with Will Moore. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, and be sure to visit moremomentum.com to learn how you can gamify your life.